Good evening. Welcome to episode 2 of AM
in the PM.
We got it. All right. So that took like 4 or 5 times to practice that. But let's introduce ourselves.
I'm John Kentfield. I've been involved with First since 2000. I was part of an FLL team in 2000, Volcanic Panic. I started in FRC in 2002 as a high school student on Team 173 in Connecticut. And then for FTC, I've helped out since the very beginning, as well as been a head referee for FTC since 2007.
Even back in the FVC days?
It was back in the FVC days.
Okay.
My mom helped run some of the original tournaments, so
Cool.
I got involved pretty early, which is awesome.
Nice. And I'm Andy Baker. I've been a First mentor since '98, and I'm the president and founder of AndyMark here in Kokomo, Indiana. And we're going to talk about a bunch of FTC stuff tonight, so we can probably dive into it.
Yeah.
Oh, also, more importantly than us two, is behind the camera we have Ruth Toomey. Ruth Toomey is, maybe she'll talk on camera, on audio tonight, but she is fielding some of your questions, as is Mary Baker. So those two are going to field questions and do the logistics behind the camera. So thanks to Mary and Ruth. So, we're 2 weeks into Rover Ruckus after a kickoff, and there's already been some really productive builds out there from organizations. I know that Rev has a build series that they're talking about. Vex has a build blitz that they're advertising, and then we have a series called Round Table Ruckus, and I think it was Tuesday night, Danny and Liz were talking about and showing actually some of the calculations behind ascending and descending off of the lander, so that was pretty cool. And they're going to talk about drivetrain next Tuesday. So check out our Twitch channel for Round Table Ruckus with Danny and Liz, and we'll see what they talk about next week with regard to drivetrain. Also, there is a really good Robot in 3 Days reveal video out there. The guys down in Florida did a wonderful job again, and they actually, I like theirs because they use a lot of different products from a lot of different people. They use some of our products, they use some other vendors' products, and they come up with a good solution. It seems like every year with FTC, with usually they have it done within a weekend, and they can score balls and cubes, or no, gold and silver.
Yes, gold and silver minerals
into the lander, and I saw the video. It looks very nice. So good job to the folks down in Florida.
And a lot of those folks down there have been involved with First almost as long as we have, Andy.
Yeah, they're kind of old like us.
Yeah.
Well, like me, not you.
I tell kids to get off my lawn all the time, so it happens.
So, Ruth, give me a nod if you can give them maybe a link to the Robot in 3 Days video. She's saying, oh, it's on there.
Oh, so it's down there?
It's down there?
Or is it down there? There?
Go across the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Ruth.
You're welcome.
So, like Andy had mentioned, one of the really great products that we introduced last year that some teams have started to use, but I really feel is an underutilized product that we carry in the FTC world is the Never Sport Gearbox. It was created in partnership between AndyMark and BaneBots. And one of the awesome things with the Never Sports is that it has the 8mm hole and the typical Tetrix
Hole pattern.
4-hole pattern. And so you can use it with a lot of our products, Tetrix and others, right out of the gate. Especially with our Neverest no gearbox motor. And speaking of that, one of the things that we use here at AndyMark all the time that we recommend that teams get is our pinion press tool. This was actually something that I created last year as the manufacturing manager here at AndyMark. A lot of times we're pushing pinions onto motors all the time for either customers or just internal testing, things like that. And so we came out with this tool based off of some things that we had been using previously. And if you look real close, this one's got some dents and dings and stuff in it. But that's because we use it every day. It's solid aluminum. Good luck breaking it.
I know that I've bent probably over 100 shafts on motors over the years, just because customers want pinions pressed onto motors, or the team I'm on, they want to take a pinion off or put one on, and I'm supposed to be the expert knows how to do this, but really this thing helps save motors, and so you don't have to trash them. So motors aren't that expensive, but if you only have one motor and you bend that shaft on that one motor, and then that's all you've got, you got to go order another one. Might take you a week, or for international teams much longer than that. So this is a very valuable tool, even though it doesn't cost very much. It's pretty cheap on our website. There's a place inside of here that the motor shaft lands, and you use an arbor press or even a vise. I've used this in a vise.
Oh, have you?
To press the gear on.
Okay. Yeah, and so that's one of the great things is that the Neverest motor only comes with the helical pinion on it, which means it's not. Natively.
There's some water, John.
Thanks. It's not natively conducive to using with the Neverest Sport, but all you have to do is take your motor with the pinion to vise, and you can crack the pinion off that way if you want. Or if you so choose, you can try using a screwdriver. That's also a way to do it.
This is to pry it up?
Yeah, to pry it off the shaft. I personally recommend, if you have a vise, use your vise. It's a little bit safer. You're not as likely to try and jab yourself with a screwdriver. After all, safety first, kind of a big thing on teams. Big thing here at AndyMark. The last thing we want is for any of you to get hurt. But then once you have the pinion off, you put your motor in the pinion press tool. It has a slot here, so if you already have wiring on it, you can still go ahead, leave your wires on, run them down the slot, and then go ahead using your arbor press and push on your new pinion. So
for the Neverest Sport, the cool thing, and John mentioned this, but I don't think teams understand this as well as we would like them for them to, but that hub, or in our case a nub, is integrated into the shaft.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of the shaft. There's no screws, no set screws, no attachment screws. The hub is part of the shaft, and it screws, so you can screw the shaft right into your wheel bore if it has the right hole pattern. So check out the Neverest Sport. It might be a good tool I think it'd be a good tool to use the 256-to-1 ratio
Definitely.
to get off, to ascend at the end of the game.
And if your team is big into 3/8 hex or half-inch hex, because I know a lot of FTC teams are starting to adopt those standards as well, we also offer what's called the 550 Sport. And the 550 Sport has that 3/8 or half-inch hex available as the output shaft instead. So we do have a lot of options, and they're all up on our website.
I did see, I want to encourage the teams to post more stuff on YouTube and Twitter and that kind of stuff. I did see another team besides the Robot in 3 Days team that showed people how to hang or ascend or descend, and that was Redfish Robotics, FTC 9958. So good job, Redfish Robotics, for putting a video out there on Twitter to show other people how to hang and ascend and descend. So that's cool.
Last year at the South Super Regional, I actually got to meet up with them in person, and they're a really great team. So
where are they from?
Louisiana.
Okay. Kudos, Redfish.
I believe it's either Louisiana.
And I saw a team marker from the Robo Raiders from 7129 already out there. So teams are making their markers. So think about what you want your team marker to look like. Mine might look like a corn coffee cup, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, I'd probably take a relic, but you already have them from last year.
It's pretty easy.
They're too big.
Oh, never mind. Apparently they're too big.
We should know
I
the rules.
haven't read the rules
yet. We should know the rules. Okay, so let's get to things that we know more about. How about the TileRunner, John?
TileRunner. So the TileRunner was created a few years ago. One of the things that I have personally witnessed, personally witnessed a lot of in FTC over my 10 plus years now is chassis that teams have produced out of a variety of different materials, but for whatever reason, they just don't hold up to the competition of play. Or
the teams have to continually tighten fidget with the screws, and sometimes the gear meshes spread apart because things move around.
Or chain's also another big thing that I see teams almost every year. I see a length of chain on the FTC field at some point.
Yeah.
So one of the nice things with the TileRunner is we eliminated chain. Using the things that our engineers here at AndyMark, Danny and Nick and a few others, our intern team, things like that, things that they've learned by creating our AM1 4U family of chassis for our FRC market, they've gone and kind of shrunk down to First Tech Challenge scale. And one of the things that a lot of teams don't necessarily realize is that our TileRunner chassis, if you buy the chassis, it will come with everything that you need, minus your control electronics, to get up and running within a day or two. It comes with your standoffs, your mounting points, a belly pan, the motors, the gearboxes, the wheels.
With multiple gear ratios.
Multiple gear ratios do come with every TileRunner.
That's why it's kind of expensive.
It is.
We have a lot of gears. You don't just use the amount of gears you have on your robot. You actually have other gears that you can use to move in and out to iterate your speed.
Exactly. And one of the other things that you can do too is utilize some of our other gearbox accessories. So like this one here is utilizing orbital motors, but we also have it with just regular 40s. And so you have a bunch of different options and a bunch of different things you can play around with. And let's say you buy the stock TileRunner this year because you want to get something that you know will drive. Next year, there's nothing stopping you from buying one of the upgrade kits. So you can get a Mecanum chassis next year without having to buy all the new sheet metal. So it can save your teams a lot of money that way too.
Yeah, there's a lot of upgrade kits. We've got Omni upgrade kits. We've got a performance wheel upgrade kit called the Hulk. We've got the Bulldozer upgrade kit, which gives you higher torque, more lower speed, but higher torque. And then we have the GTO kit, which gives us a lot of speed, but less torque. So if you want to be quick, GTO is what you might want to see. Yes?
I have a fun fact for you. The TileRunner chassis with 4 motors and wheels weighs only 7.5 pounds.
Oh, wow.
7.5 pounds is what Ruth said. So she knows not only the rules, but she knows all the details of our products. So thanks, Ruth. 7.5 pounds for a TileRunner chassis with the wheels and the sheet metal. Cool.
Wow. And this year, that's one of the things teams are going to have to watch out for is the 42-pound weight limit.
Yeah.
It's the 4 wheels.
4 wheels.
Without wheels.
Before.
Okay. So just the chassis by itself, without wheels and things like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's on par with other chassis on the market, so that makes good sense.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really interested this year to see how teams react to the weight limit of 42 pounds. How does that affect their design decisions? Because in years past they didn't have a weight limit, so if they were lighter they were quicker, but they also couldn't push anybody around if they were that fast. So it's really interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what teams do throughout the season, not only initially in the season, but throughout the season with the weight limit.
And that's definitely one of the other things too, is a lot of teams used to build with 1/4-inch thick sheets of aluminum on their side rails.
Yeah. Which
FTC, you don't need something quite that extreme. You can do rigid sheet metal instead. So
it'd be nice, John, if with this TileRunner, with this game.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if the TileRunner, especially with the craters, when the robot gets over the craters. What, Ruth?
We actually have a question from the audience on this.
Oh.
Big Ben Quadrangles asked, any ideas on how to make the TileRunner work with the crater?
So there's a few different ways to make the TileRunner work with the crater. One of the things that you can do is you can trim your corner pieces. So
How do you mean?
So the corners already have a slight angle here. One of the things that you can do is cut it back a little bit further so that more of your wheel is exposed. A lot of teams have done that to get over obstacles with it in the past. Or this one here, I think Danny may have done some testing on, I heard yesterday, where it uses our 4-inch black compliant wheel.
That's what this is.
Yep. And so it uses our 4-inch black compliant wheel, and he was able to get over, just in this configuration here, get over the crater.
You know, it would be really ideal. If I had to pick one configuration of a TileRunner, I wish we had a tread, you know?
That is one thing that I have seen throughout my 11 years in FTC is tread almost every single year.
Someone would use a tread somewhere.
Someone would use some sort of tread, and without fail, their treads would usually break links.
Do we have something like that?
We do. In our FRC market, we have the Rhino track drive. And using the Rhino track drive, teams in 2016 Stronghold managed to get over their obstacles extremely easily.
No, but I meant, do we have something like that for FTC? So what if we had a TileRunner that had a tread on it, John?
The TreadRunner?
Well, that's a good name.
Right?
So this is Model 1. So we're not quite ready to release this yet, but we're working on it. We hope to release this to make it available for the teams by, I think, late October is what we're talking about. So about a month from now.
Which, with FTC seasons throughout the United States and international expanding this year with the elimination of the super regional system, teams are able to iterate their robots for a lot longer before they even get to their state championships. So
this has the same tread as our Rhino track drive with different tread surface. It's
Okay.
the same timing belt on the backside, different tread surface, and essentially the same pulleys. We're changing these pulleys, but we changed the bore of the pulley not to be more conducive to FTC types of mountings. So we're doing that, and we have a tensioner right there. That's a bearing system tensioner that provides the right amount of tension for these to work really well. And we have done some testing on this thing to have it drive up and over the crater wall. So
and
I think it works pretty well.
I haven't been able to work on this project at all, but I am super excited that we're offering this. It's something that a few years ago when we created the Rhino, I had suggested that we do, and to finally see it come to light, it's pretty awesome to see. So
this is a prototype base. We've got some goofy electronics on here, but we've got some looks like 40 to 1 never rests. There's 4 of them, and it drives really well. So,
and one of the things that teams will notice is it uses the same stock TileRunner side plates. So
yeah. I don't think we drilled any holes.
I don't believe they did. No.
Yeah. So we're pretty excited about that. We'll have 2 things as packages or as kits. We'll have the whole TreadRunner kit, and then we're going to have a TreadRunner upgrade kit if you already have a TileRunner. So for Ben out there, hi Ben, I know who that is. But for Ben and other folks, if you have a TileRunner and you want to go to Treads, we're going to have a solution by late October. So stay tuned. Watch our newsletter. Watch for Twitter. This is actually the first time we've talked about it publicly. We haven't put anything out there. So you guys on Twitch tonight are getting a scoop over everybody else. So good for you. So thanks for watching, and tell your buddies about our new treads coming, our TreadRunner. And we'll probably sell, as usual, we'll sell the tread individually. We'll sell the pulley individually. That's kind of our style and how we support our products.
And that's actually a good point too, Andy, is that one of the things that I love about what we do here is the fact that we do sell all of our components for our parts. So say you want to build your own sheet metal or whatever, you can still utilize the parts that we have that are tested and true and tried, and utilize them in your own applications.
I remember early on when we started AndyMark, we had these Omni wheels that we put out the CAD for, and one of the students on Chief Delphi, he's now a mentor. He's been around that long, but he was bragging about using our company's CAD to make his own version of our OmniWheel, and it's like that's part of the reason why we put it out there. We don't fault the teams for doing their own thing if they want to save some money and make their own parts out of some of our CAD designs. So that's good for them. So if they want to buy the difficult part, maybe the tread, which might be kind of hard for them to source, but work around it with their own sheet metal or their own CNC made plates, good for them. So we'll get that CAD out about the same time we release the product. So watch our website, watch the product pages, and especially the new page on our website.
Speaking of the new page, we have a few new products sitting here on our table. So one of the things that we had customers call in about was they'd call and they'd say, "Oh, we love your HD Mecanum wheels, but they don't fit in the TileRunner. What can we do?" And so over the last year or so, I want to say we debuted the prototypes at Champs last year.
Yeah, it was a 3D printed.
The 3D printed prototypes. Yeah. So over the last year or so, that's one of the things our engineering team has been working on. And they've now made a thinner profile, as this one falls apart on me because it's not assembled.
Well, that's a good point. Why is it not assembled?
So this one isn't assembled because we are now offering the ability to upgrade your HD Mecanum wheels to the one with the 8mm bore and 4-hole pattern, so that you can go ahead, if you have them, you can get these skeleton wheels, take your own rollers and screws and the brass axles and the nuts that are on there, take it all apart and put it all back together on this skeleton without having to purchase a whole new set of wheels. So we were able to offer a lower price alternative for teams that wanted something a little bit thinner.
But we decided not to sell just the black plastic piece, at least for now, because this is all riveted together, and the teams would have to drill this out, drill all those rivets out to get rid of them and take off the metal piece. We felt like that was pretty difficult. I mean, I would mess it up if I had to drill those out by hand. It'd be not the easiest. Well, it would take me a while. So we're selling the two as a pair of two big parts and a bunch of rivets already on it. So there.
And some other new things that we have, if Ruth would be so kind.
Oh, the extrusions. So we have, so some of you teams who are green.
Little green with envy.
It matches your shirt, John.
Hey, it
Very
does.
nice.
My Happy Moon, Mission Moon shirt for Junior First Lego League. First launch.
So we have green extrusion now. This is our peanut extrusion. It's a good construction extrusion, lightweight, aluminum, anodized green. And then we have our blue churro that we have anodized. So we do have, I think we have 7 different colors. We have clear, or not clear. We have naked aluminum. Plain. Black, red, gold, blue, green, orange.
Nope.
No orange.
Purple. Purple won the Twitter poll. I'm still a little salty.
That's all right.
I tried to get green instead of purple a few years ago, and they went with purple instead.
Hey,
the people spoke.
When Twitter talks, people listen.
That we do.
Sorry. Okay, so we do have some other gearboxes here too. We got these Piko servo boxes. Sometimes if you have a servo that you want to actuate something on your robot, and as we know, the servo output shafts and servo horns and such, they aren't the most robust things many times. It's a small piece of hardware. So these gearboxes are really designed to provide an output shaft that's robust, being driven by the servo. So this is just a direct drive output shaft, and this gives us the D shaft that people like to use. And then that one is a 2-motor servo, 2 servo motor with an output shaft. So there's gears in the middle. Show them the gears, John. So there's gears in the middle, driving the middle output shaft. And then this one here is a single gear drive. It actually has a slight reduction. There's a reduction there, and there's a drive to this output shaft here. So check out our Piko boxes with servos.
And one of the things to note, especially when you're using the dual servo version, is that you want to make sure your servos are in line before you put them in. Otherwise, your gearbox won't spin and your servos might bind.
What do you mean in line?
So the thing with a non-continuous servo is it only does whatever degree of rotation you have.
Like 60 or whatever.
60,
90.
180, 90, whatever the rotation is. And so you want to make sure that your servos are at the same point in their rotation. So you'll want to probably hand drive it to one of the ends and make sure that they're both in that same point, so that when you're driving your gearbox, you're not having one end here while the other is trying to push to there.
I get it.
So.
That's smart. Okay. We got about 5 minutes left. Are there any other questions out there that you guys have? Have you?
Pretty boring.
There. So we do need to be accountable for some things happening here at AndyMark. We're getting so we sent out many hundreds, thousands of lander hardware and crater hardware and game piece packages and all that stuff, and we do make mistakes. We have made some mistakes, so I'm gonna talk about some of those. So there's let's talk about the lander support bracket, or the handle shaped steel thing. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about these walls. So first of all, about a month ago, we started shipping out these whole packages of landers to the affiliate partners, and we heard from the affiliate partners that some of these landers were breaking. So we actually repacked about 1,000 of these lander boxes.
How many staples was it you said?
It was
10,000?
10,000 staples that we pulled out of boxes. So my forum is still, but there's many of us that were all hands on deck to fix this issue. So we repacked these boxes. But even so, we still have some problems out there where these walls have broken. This tab has been flexed and it has broken off. We're getting calls, we're getting emails about this. We are accountable for this, and we support the teams that go through this problem. So if you have this problem, don't freak out. Give us a call. Preferably give us an email, support@andymark.com. Give us an email. Let us know your order number or your team number so we can know where to send it to and such.
Definitely the order number. If you have access to your order number, that'll give our customer service team the most information to allow them to, as expediently as possible, get you the parts that you need. So.
And we'll take a phone call, but we work most efficiently with this issue by receiving an email from you, support@andymark.com. Let us know what happened, what parts you want replaced, and give us your order number, and we'll get the parts out to you very soon. Another thing that's happening is these support handles, or these handles that the robots are hanging from or ascending up into. Some of them have had this hole spacing right here not be exactly correct. So you can check yours by placing it on your wall and just making sure the holes line up with your wall holes. Some of them are as much as a half a hole off. So that was a quality spill that we had, and we're doing the same thing with these. We're supporting people who have bad handles. So we'll send you out new handles. If you have, so you get 8 of these with your lander. If you have one of them that's bad and you don't mind drilling a hole in your support wall or your side wall, do that use that handle on the inside. I would use that handle and drill the hole here, not use the handle on the outside where the polycarbonate is. So if you want to do that, more power to you. We'll still replace it, but if you want us to replace it regardless, again, support@andymark.com and your order number. Yes, Ruth.
Being told we should actually email customer service@andymark.com.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Support is great for technical help.
Okay, so the customer service group wants me to say, so if you're taking notes, go back about a paragraph and say customer service@andymark.com, not support@andymark.com. So thanks, Ruth, and I think that came from Mary that corrected me on that.
Also, there is that email address down below. So
that helps. So maybe I'm sweating now, John. Okay, so Yeah, so if those things happen to you, we're sorry about that, but we're accountable. We're gonna fix it. Yeah, and I think we talked about on another show how sturdy and strong this lander is. So yeah, it does have this problem here, but the lander is very strong. We actually tested it to have as much as 200 pounds robots hanging off of each side of it, and I think that a 200-pound robot, like 2 of them hanging from that lander hook, I think that's what actually broke one of the zip ties in the middle of the lander.
And one of the things with that is that when we did that testing, we didn't do it with prototype parts. We did it with production parts right off our router. Yeah. So it's not like what we're shipping is different than what we did the testing on.
So thank you. Okay, so Ruth's got something else.
We did get another question from Big Ben Quadrangles. He'd like to know, how do you like the new facilities compared to your previous one?
So, from an employee perspective,
yeah,
I love it. It's been nice to be able to kind of mold a brand new space to suit our needs versus expand into a space that we had previously had that we kind of filled every nook and cranny.
Yeah.
Especially as we added new equipment and machinery. This time, as the manufacturing manager, I loved it because I was able to design my ideal layout and kind of see it come to fruition. So that was one of the awesome things with the new facility is that our directors and Andy and Mary had employee feedback, and we got to kind of figure out our own spaces and what worked best for us. So.
Yeah, in our previous facility, and I would give this on our tour. In our previous facility, we have a media room where it needs to be soundproof and isolated, right next to the tumbler. So when we did our study about where everything should be when we moved into this place, we actually were I think, was it a heat map?
I think so.
It was some goofy software that Jerry had us fill out. It was a heat map of like where the tumbler should be and who wants to be near the tumbler or away from the tumbler. Like for some reason,
the tumbler and the router.
Yeah, it was
the router. No one wanted to be near either.
But in all, we love the place. We went through a lot of work to get this place where we want it to be. It's by no means perfect, but we really do like it. So if you're ever in north central Indiana, passing through Kokomo, please stop by and check out our place. The address is on the website. I know Ben pretty well, so hopefully he'll come up from Bloomington and come see us at our new place. But we're very proud of it and very hospitable when people want to come by and say hi. And with that, I think we're going to sign off.
Sounds good.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. The next AM and the PM will be October 4th on Thursday. So have a great next couple of weeks. Keep building, and
I'm excited to see what shows up online.
Yeah, put stuff online. Put stuff on your Twitter page. Put stuff up on YouTube. Tweet at us.
Facebook,
all that stuff.
Instagram.
And then tune in on Tuesday for Roundtable Ruckus.
Yes.
If you didn't hear that, yes. Roundtable Ruckus on Tuesday. They'll be talking about drivetrains, specifically drivetrains for Rover Ruckus, and I bet they're going to talk about this TreadRunner. That'll probably be a big highlight on Tuesday for how they're going to use a tread robot to drive into the crater, onto the game pieces, and out. I think that's quite a challenge this year.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
So thank you.
We've got the blue wheel tucked up on our rig. We've got 15 pounds hanging below the wheel. Our drill is going to be running at about 900 RPM. We're going to do a test for 5 seconds to test the wear and the pushing force. Timer ready? All right, force gauge ready, Catherine?
Yep.
Safety glasses. And contact. A little bit of carpet melting there. Some significant dust around the wheel, blue dust shot out behind it. And we got a force of, show the camera, about 24 pounds. So we've got the black wheel switched on now. So we're gonna see how this one wears in comparison to the blue wheel and see what the force is. So another 5-second run. Contact. All right, here we go. Zoom in here. All right, we've got some carpet melting. This one's, the dust seemed to have kind of pooled and we've burned all the way through. We'll take a closer look at the tread later. This one looks a little bit more worn. You can see some of the blocks are rounded off a little bit. This one, they're kind of more square. We'll take a caliber to that later and see how they fared. What was the force number?
We got 20 pounds of force.
The white wheel on now, force gauge, timer, 3, 2, 1, contact. All right, 5 seconds. We got for force?
18 pounds of force.
18, all right. And for tread wear, it looks basically the same as it started. There's a little melty spot there, not too much. Yeah, the wheel looks basically new as compared to these two where the teeth are still square but a little bit lower, and this one is starting to round off. There's our 3 wheels.
We can see the results from our wheel tread lifespan performance testing. The white wheel had the lowest force, but saw almost no wear. The black, softer compound wheels had a higher force, but we started to see some wear. The blue, softest compound wheels had an even higher force and even more wear.
So then you have to do one radius. This one's my favorite.